In the quiet corners of our bustling cities, stories of incredible loyalty and unexpected friendship often unfold, unseen be most. Today, we're diving into one such story, a tale that will warm your heart and remind you of the profound connections that can form in the most unlikely of circumstances. It's the story of a stray dog and a young, homeless child, a bond forged under a cold, concrete bridge. Imagine a little boy, no older than 6, huddled against the chill of the evening. His world is the harsh reality of the streets, his only shelter the arch of an overpass where the roar of traffic is a constant, unsettling lullaby. He's alone, clutching a tattered blanket, his small frame trembling not just from the cold, but from a loneliness that no child should ever have to experience. Every day is a struggle for survival, a search for a scrap of food, a moment of warmth, a sliver of safety in a world that seems to have forgotten him. But he isn't entirely alone. As dusk settles, a furry shadow emerges from the gloom. It's a medium-sized dog, a scruffy mix of breeds with wise, gentle eyes and fur the color of dust and twilight. This isn't just any stray. This is his guardian, his companion, his family. The locals have seen them, this inseparable pair. They call the dog Shadow, because he never leaves the boy's side. Their story began months ago. The boy, let's call him Leo, had found himself utterly alone after losing the only family he knew. Scared and hungry, he sought refuge under the bridge. It was there that he met Shadow. The dog, also a solitary soul, was wary at first. He had known his own share of hardship and cruelty, but something in the boy's frightened eyes resonated with him. Instead of running, he cautiously approached, nudged the boy's hand with his wet nose, and then lay down beside him, offering his own body heat against the creeping cold. From that day on, their lives became intertwined. Shadow became Leo's protector. During the day, while Leo sat quietly, watching the world go by, Shadow would be on high alert. His ears would prick up at any unfamiliar sound, and a low growl would rumble in his chest if anyone got too close, too quickly. He was a silent, steadfast sentinel, ensuring that no harm came to his young charge. But his care went far beyond just protection. Witness accounts from people who work and live nearby paint an incredible picture of this dog's intelligence and devotion. They've seen Shadow nudging discarded food wrappers towards Leo, instinctively knowing the boy needed to eat. On one occasion, a street vendor left a half-eaten sandwich on a bench. Shadow, without hesitation, gently picked it up and carried it back to the bridge, laying it carefully at Leo's feet before looking up at him, as if to say, "This is for you." Their nights are a testament to their bond. As the temperature drops, Shadow curls his body tightly around Leo, creating a living, breathing blanket. He rests his head on the boy's small chest, and you can almost imagine him listening to the steady rhythm of his heartbeat. A silent promise to stay, to watch over him until the morning light. The warmth and security the dog provides are more than just physical. It's a profound emotional comfort, a constant presence that says, "You are not alone in this." One particularly cold winter, a local charity worker, Sarah, became aware of their situation. She had been trying to help Leo for weeks, but the boy was understandably mistrustful of strangers. Every time she approached, he would retreat, with Shadow standing firmly in front of him, a furry barrier of defiance. Sarah knew she couldn't force the issue. She had to earn their trust. So she started leaving food and warm blankets a safe distance away. At first, Shadow would approach cautiously, sniff the items, and only after deeming them safe would he retrieve them for Leo. Slowly, day by day, Sarah moved a little closer. She would talk to them in a soft, gentle voice, never making sudden moves. She spoke to Shadow as much as she spoke to Leo, acknowledging the dog as the boy's rightful guardian. The breakthrough came on a freezing afternoon. Sarah brewed 2 steaming cups of soup. She placed one down and sat on the ground a few feet away, sipping her own. She didn't look at them directly, just sat there, sharing the space. After a long while, Shadow nudged the cup towards Leo, who tentatively began to eat. The dog then looked at Sarah, a long, appraising look, and gave a single, soft tail wag. It was a small gesture, but it was everything. It was permission. It was trust. From that point on, Sarah was able to get closer. She learned that Leo had barely spoken a word since he'd been on the streets, but he would whisper to Shadow, telling him secrets, fears, and dreams. The dog was his confidant, his therapist, his best friend. Through her patient efforts, and with Shadow's clear approval, Sarah was eventually able to convince Leo to come to a local shelter, a place designed specifically for children in his situation. The biggest challenge, of course, was what to do about Shadow. Shelter policy was clear: no pets allowed. For Leo, leaving Shadow behind was simply not an option. They were a package deal. To separate them would be to break the boy's spirit all over again, to take away the one source of stability and unconditional love he had in his life. Sarah and the shelter staff saw this. They saw the panic in Leo's eyes at the thought of being separated from his protector. They understood that Shadow wasn't just a pet, he was a lifeline. What happened next is a powerful example of compassion in action. The community, having heard the story of the boy and his dog, rallied together. Donations poured in, volunteers offered their time. The shelter made an unprecedented exception. They worked with local animal rescue groups to set up a special, warm space just outside the main building for Shadow. It was a comfortable, insulated doghouse, filled with warm blankets and plenty of food and water, right next to the window of the room where Leo would be staying. It wasn't perfect, but it meant they could see each other. It meant they weren't truly separated. The first few nights were tough. Leo would press his face against the glass, and Shadow would sit just outside, whining softly. But they were safe, they were warm, and they were together. During the day, the staff would allow them supervised time to play in the shelter's yard. Watching them, you could see the pure joy. Leo would laugh, the sound no one had heard from him before, as he threw a ball for Shadow. The dog, in turn, would leap and bound, his tail wagging furiously, his eyes sparkling with happiness. Shadow's presence was instrumental in Leo's recovery. The dog provided a bridge of trust for the therapists and social workers. When Leo was scared or overwhelmed, Shadow's calming presence helped him cope. He was the key that unlocked the boy's heart, allowing him to slowly begin to heal from his trauma and learn to trust people again. This story isn't just about a boy and his dog. It's about the power of empathy, the kind that transcends species. It's about recognizing that love and family come in many forms. Shadow didn't have any training as a therapy animal, but he performed the role perfectly. His instincts, his loyalty, and his deep, unwavering love for a small, vulnerable human being saved that boy's life in more ways than one. It is a poignant reminder that the animals we share this planet with have rich emotional lives and the capacity for incredible compassion. It also highlights the critical importance of community support and the willingness to bend the rules for the sake of humanity, and in this case, for the sake of an unbreakable bond. The story of Leo and Shadow has a happy continuation. A foster family, touched by their story and experienced with rescue animals, eventually came forward. They didn't just want to adopt Leo. They insisted on adopting Shadow as well. Today, Leo has a warm bed, attends school, and is surrounded by a loving family. And right there, sleeping at the foot of his bed every single night, is his scruffy, loyal, four-legged guardian, Shadow. They are a family, whole and complete. Their journey started under a cold, lonely bridge, but it led them home, together. Thank you for watching and sharing this incredible story with us. If you are as moved as we were, please hit that like button and subscribe for more stories that celebrate the amazing connections in our world. See you next time.